Is it better to be hit in the back of the head than in the front? I suppose it is. Not the scenic route I was hoping for. Oh, this is pretty.
This is your hobby, your chance to play with big trains.
Yeah, exactly so.
Well, I've never seen anything quite like that before.
I'm Sarah, I'm 55 and I've just cashed in a small pension, sold out virtually everything I own, and I've gone all in financially on getting a camper van. And with my dog Bella, I'm starting my next chapter by exploring the UK coastline and sharing the experiences I have. Hit subscribe.
So next on my route was Pwllheli. It's an old maritime town with a history of fishing and shipbuilding, a large marina and a weekly market that has been here in one form or another since the 14th century. But I'm going to be completely honest, sometimes you arrive somewhere and for whatever reason you just don't feel the urge to explore it. It was scorching hot when I arrived. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it, it just didn't grab me. So my Pwllheli experience consisted mainly of a very glamorous trip to Lidl to restock the van, and then I refueled and I carried on along the coast, simply because my next few stops, which you're going to see today, were places that I'd really been looking forward to seeing. So I moved on pretty quickly to Criccieth. So naturally, when we first arrived, I pulled over onto the promenade. We had a quick look at the beach. I gave Bella a quick run and then we were heading off up to the castle. Now, because I'd arrived later in the afternoon, I was able to drive right up to the castle and just park outside for free. Now, if you like a castle and you find yourself in Criccieth or nearby, you really don't want to miss this castle.
Well, I think we're actually going to be the only people here because I've arrived and it closes in half an hour. Wait, I thought it was an hour and a half. My bad. Never mind, not to worry, we can probably do it. It's really rather beautiful, isn't it?
It's quite a small castle really, but it sits right up here on its own rocky headland separating Criccieth's east and west beaches with incredible views out across Tremadog Bay. And when you actually walk up here, you understand why they chose this spot. You can see for miles. Now, I got quite excited when I found out a little more about this castle because unlike pretty much every castle I've seen so far on this journey in North Wales, this one wasn't built by Edward I. This one is a true Welsh castle. It was built around the 1230s by Llŷn ap Iorwerth, better known as Llywelyn the Great, one of the most powerful Welsh rulers of the medieval period. He built the original inner castle and this impressive two-towered gatehouse. Then his grandson, Llywelyn ap Griffith, known as Llywelyn the Last, expanded it, adding another outer area, walls and towers. So already we can see that this castle had evolved from what it originally was, and then everything changed. In 1282, Llywelyn was killed during Edward I's campaign to conquer Wales. You see, we knew he would just turn up at some point, and Criccieth Castle fell into English hands. And rather than knocking it down and starting again, Edward did something rather interesting. He used what was already here. He strengthened it, changed it, added to it. There's even believed to have been a stone-throwing machine positioned in the North Tower to help defend the castle against Welsh attack. And I suppose that's one of the things I find fascinating about these castles. Different people came along at different points in its history and changed it according to what they needed it to be at the time. By the time we get to the 1930s, the castle was placed in charge of a Welshman called Hywel of Rhywdde, otherwise known as the Hywel of the Axe. He'd been knighted for bravery during the 100 Years' War and became one of the first Welshmen to be made constable of a castle here in North Wales. And once he was in charge, apparently life inside Criccieth during this time wasn't all battles and people firing things over walls. The Welsh poet Iolo wrote about this place and described a thriving household with hospitality, feasting and women weaving beautiful silk inside the Great Hall. Then, in around 1404, another huge change came. Owain Glyndwr led a Welsh rebellion against the English rule and his forces attacked Criccieth. The castle was captured and burned. After that, Criccieth was never really brought back into military use. Its life as a working castle was effectively over.
Loving neat houses. I think I'm destined for a beach townhouse. Coastal townhouse. I think that suits me and Mark very nicely. Not sure how we're going to do it yet, but hey, minor issue. And so this is the high street.
So this whistle-stop tour was coming to an end and we're heading off to Borth-y-Gest.
This is Tremadog.
It's about 9 o'clock and this is Borth-y-Gest. Somewhere I almost passed by. I'm so very glad I didn't, as usual. Loving the houses along here. There's the van. It's a fresh one. So we leave the van. Our fabulous familiar sign.
So it's just before 7. It feels really, it just feels really fresh, which is nice, especially after all the heat we've had lately. So what we're doing today is we're walking along the coast. We're going to come to, hopefully, Borth-y-Gest beach, which I think is right here, and then we're going to be walking further along the coastline to Black Rock Sands. Oh my gosh, this little cove. Look at that. So pretty. Going through dunes. Oh my gosh, this reminds me when you were a kid and used to make dens. That's all I ever did, climbed trees and made dens. Till I was about, I don't know, between 7 and 9, I think. Oh, this is pretty. Another little cove. Gorgeous. And then, hoping when we come around here, that we are going to find the beach. Yes. Oh. There we go. Oh. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Borth-y-Gest beach. Isn't this fabulous? Beautiful sandy beach. Now I realised that coming down that way, because that's the only way you can get here, is, you know, quite a big deal if you've got a couple of little kids in tow. I think it's definitely worth giving it a go, especially if there's two of you with the children. It might be worth, you could potentially get this whole beach to yourself. What a luxury. And all on a budget. Beautiful. So because Bella is now hovering around my pocket, she knows I have a ball. So, ready, Belle? Are you ready? Ready? Go! So we're just going to do this a few more times, take in this beach, and then we'll move on. Oh, I love it when the tide comes around like that. One last view as we carry on. Come on, Belle. This way. When I was a kid, I used to, maybe you did as well, I used to read Famous Five and Secret Seven, and I loved the adventures that they went on. And when I get down to Cornwall, I think a lot of their inspiration that Enid Blyton got for them, and those stories and the places, were down that way. So I might seek them out, because I feel like I'm in a Secret Seven at the moment. Maybe I'm just feeling like that today. Look at that lovely house. I wonder who lives there. Nice. I do believe we're back on the Wales Coast Path. Hooray! Oh. Thank you. Always reassuring.
Well, I've never seen anything quite like that before. In amongst all the, I don't know, is it fern, is it bracken? They're like cactus, I don't know. I don't know how to describe them. Anybody know what this is?
Right, we have to be careful down here. I'm going to get my adapter so that I can do a body cam. That might be easier than trying to hold this. Anyway, in the meantime, we're getting down there. They were really, really slippery. And now we're going down here. Good girl, Bella. Good girl. More ball throwing. It's like you can't go past the beach now. Right, so we're going to carry on around, back up on the path. So here we are at the beautiful Morfa Bychan. Now I believe I've pronounced that correctly. I hope I have. Please correct me if I haven't. And it also has a beautiful bench. Seriously, 10 out of 10 for that one. Imagine this on a clear day, clear and sunny day. It'd be turquoise waters. Beautiful. Onwards to Black Rock Sands. A few more people about now. It's coming up for 20 to 8. I've been taking my time, as usual. Got to do any play with the dog. I just like to take it all in. Now I want to go look, you see? Because it's just so much. I do believe the sun is coming out. Come on, Belle. So we've come quite a bit further along now. What an amazing piece of sea this is. And you can see in the distance there some vehicles. So the part of the beach that we were just on is where vehicles can't go. which now means that I am on the part of the beach where the vehicles can go, and I can see people having all this fun. So it's beginning to make me think I'm going to walk back and get the van. I probably won't. And this is the downside of coming out early. That looks lovely. Oh, it's closed. So that sign just made me giggle because it says, "Here for turn away and cover your head." I just thought to myself, if you turn away, you can't see it coming, and is it better to be hit in the back of the head than in the front? I suppose it is. It's like purely just to protect your face. Getting a golf ball in the back of your head is not really good, is it? Just a few thoughts.
Not the scenic route I was hoping for.
So we've ended up walking along the road, which is a bit of a disappointment, but the pathway was just too overgrown. So now, not on any of the maps, I've just found this. And so we're going to give this a go. Turning it into quite an adventure. So, looking at this, I think it's not really clear, but we're going to go this way.
So I think it was the red path. I've run out of battery on my other camera. Don't know why. It's just done it early today. Well, you can probably hear the road down there. But this is definitely more attractive than walking along the main road, that's for sure. I was trying to capture some of the lovely nature sounds. Lovely. Isn't it funny? Another accidental find. I definitely seem to be getting better at this. So we've just come through there, and following my nose and a bit of Google telling me where I am right now, I'm hoping this is going to come out right by the van, literally right by the van. That would be amazing. I'm hoping there's a pub or a cafe. Oh my goodness, look at that. Perfect. And there's the van, just up there. But we are going to go past the van and we're going to find a cafe. The sun has definitely come out now. It's absolutely stunning. Wonderful. We'll just come along here for a quick little run around before we go for a nice coffee. Decided to treat myself, and Bella could come in too.
So we've come to Porthmadog, and we've come straight to the harbour because we're going to walk past here and we'll come back, have a closer look. But we're on our way to the very famous railway station and hopefully see some steam trains. And so you can see the mountains, what a beautiful view. The steam train comes along there, but not right now. So we're here at the station. I can see there's one on the platform, and then I just had some insider information There's another one going to be arriving in about half an hour. So we'll just have a look at this one. These carriages. And here we go. Steam train. It's not often you see one of these now.
So while I'm looking around, I'm wondering if I could find someone to talk to who could tell me more about trains.
My name's Will, I'm a fireman here at the Ffestiniog Welsh Highland Railway. Today we're on Llŷn, beautiful locomotive rebuilt in 1999, and we're doing a service called the Woodland Wanderer. So the Ffestiniog Welsh Highland is about 40 miles. We're going up the Ffestiniog side, which is about 13. We're going to go about halfway, stop there, and there's a lovely little cafe. So you can have an hour there, walk around in the woods, it's wonderful. My job today is a fireman, so essentially it's shovel coal, make steam, and with me is Paul, who's currently having his lunch, but he's a driver.
Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me. You were saying earlier you live in Oxford and you've driven all the way up today to do this. How did you get into this?
So I started at this railway about 13 or so years ago. As a mate of mine who got me into it. And he said he was volunteering up at a place called the Ffestiniog in Wales. Would I like to join him? Sure. Came here and instantly fell in love. Did a bit of time on the staff as a guard and a signalman. And this is the hobby now as well. So in the real job, I work on the big railways, but this is the day off.
So to use your phrase, what do you do in your real job?
So in the real world, I'm a signalman for Network Rail.
And so this is your hobby, your chance to play with big trains?
Yeah, exactly so. It's a lovely location. The views are gorgeous. You can have a day firing steam engines and then just go down to the beach, swim in a wild lake somewhere.
So Will, tell me what's involved with being a fireman.
So in short, a fireman's job is to make enough steam to get you going. And you can do two things. You can either put water in the boiler or coal in the fire. So coal-wise, we're not actually using coal because all the mines are closed. We're using these. These are called ovoids. Essentially, it's compacted coal dust like briquettes. They work in a similar sort of way, different firing technique. Water-wise, whenever we're underway, we're using water in the form of steam. So I can top up water using injectors, which essentially is a selection of cones where you fire steam into water and push it into the boiler just below the speed of sound. The art is, every time you put water in a boiler, you lose pressure. But if you run out of water, the locomotive explodes. Understandably, that doesn't happen. That's why we have training. But if we have too much water, then it can get carried over into the cylinders through a valve called a regulator valve, which is what puts steam in there. So if water level gets too high, the water goes over. And water doesn't compress in the cylinders, so the cylinders go bang and you cause a lot of damage. Firing wise, all I can do is put coal on fire. It's going to sound weird, but you can put coal in the wrong place, and each engine responds differently to how you fire it as well. So if I put too little on, obviously we run out of steam. If you put too much on, then you don't get enough airflow through, and again, it doesn't steam properly. So there's a lot of things at play. But the whole thing is absolutely great fun. It's an art form, not a science. And when you get it right for the first time, it's brilliant. There's so much satisfaction in this job, and what a wonderful place to do it as well. Welcome to the office. The heating's on, the air conditioning kicks in once you get going. All steam engines look complicated, but they actually are quite simple. They all work in their own way. So on the firing side, here's the fire at the moment. There's not much happening because we've got about an hour 45 before we actually leave. But that to be roaring hot before we go. These two gauges here tell me how much water's in the boiler. We have two in case one fails. So at the moment, it's about that high. So again, too low, top of the firebox comes uncovered, bad times. Too high, water gets carried into the cylinders, bad times again. This gauge here is the boiler pressure gauge. It tells me how much steam's in the boiler. The red line is our maximum working pressure. That's 180 pounds per square inch. So to give you an idea, what your car tyre is about 30 or so. If it gets to that red line, steam is essentially shoots out the top through what's called safety valves, and that's a device to stop the steam boiler going over pressure. To the right here is part of a driver's control, which is the vacuum brake system. The vacuum brake system essentially works a bit like a hoover. It sucks the air out of the brake system, lifts the brake blocks off, so if it is a breakaway for whatever reason, everything locks on. It's a fail-safe system. This gauge here is the steam chest. So this tells me how much water steam's in the boiler. When the driver opens this valve here, which is the regulator, that tells him how much steam he's putting into the cylinders. On the fireman's controls, you've got two injectors. So there's a steam valve and a water valve. and one on the driver's side as well. So we have two ways of putting water in the boiler, again, in case one fails. These dials right here are part of the manifold shut-off atomizer blower. Driver's side, all locomotives have essentially the same basic controls. They will always have a regulator, which is your go faster handle. The further you open it, the further you open the valve, which puts more steam into the cylinders. This is your reverser, forwards, backwards, a bit like a gearbox, but there's no actual gears. What you're actually doing is adjusting valve timing. And this here is part of the vacuum brake for the train. There's an individual one for a locomotive, which is powered by steam. And at the moment, we've got everything turned off, so it's just held on a hand brake here, which is how we leave it at the end of the day. We've got water in the tanks either side. There's coal in the bunker behind us. There's a lot of polishing. We didn't manage to get everything we wanted done today, so we started on the outside. But yeah, they're super bits of kit.
Well, your passion for this really shines through. Thank you so much.
No problem. Hope you have a good day.
That was absolutely fantastic. I'm very grateful to Will for taking the time out for doing that. He has his own channel, the Coastline in Hampshire, which is where I grew up. Well, Hampshire is where I grew up. So I have heard of that, which was really, really nice. So I'm going to put the details to his channel in the below. So go check him out. And now I know that there is a train that's going to be coming in soon. So while I wait for that, I'm going to get myself into a good position. And I'm going to take a walk across the Cobb because this is a big part of the history of Porthmadog as well. And I shall tell you a little bit more about all of that. And hopefully we'll get the train coming in as well. Today is a good day. I love it when I ask people if they would love to tell me a little bit more, and they do. It's finding people with a passion. People have a passion for something. They really want to talk about it. It makes me so happy to give that opportunity for them to do that. I love it. It's quite funny because you couldn't see, but there were little crowds of people behind me because they wanted to hear what he had to say as well. So he had a little audience there as well. Anyway, let's see where this path goes.
The Cobb at Porthmadog is much more than just a road across the water. Built over 200 years ago by William Maddox, this huge embankment was originally designed to reclaim thousands of acres of land from the sea. But it had an unexpected consequence. The changing flow of the River Llŷn created a deep water harbour, and Porthmadog was born. That harbour later became hugely important for exporting Welsh slate around the world. So rather brilliantly, a project designed for one purpose ended up creating something completely different. Just goes to show, sometimes the unexpected next chapter turns out to be the most important one.
So this is the one that's just come in. So this is a pretty good view of the harbour. I grew up in Hampshire, not far from Hamble. If you remember the programme Howard's Way, I lived not far from there. Not actually there, but yeah, not far from there. So it reminds me of home. Lovely. Loving the design of these. They're almost like boats. And so from the railway and the harbour to the high street. There's lots of independent businesses, bars, and I bet in the evening it's busy and
I'm
bustling.
Sarah, I'm 55 and I've just cashed in a small pension, sold out virtually everything I own, and I've gone all in financially on getting a camper van. And with my dog Bella, I'm starting my next chapter by exploring the UK coastline and sharing the experiences I have. Hit subscribe